and welcome
Thanks.
to News Now on TV360. I am Thelma Okoro. The Enugu State Police Command says Fulani herdsmen are not responsible for the killing of dozens of people in Ukbabe-Nimbo community in Uzonwani local government area on Monday. The officials, however, didn't reveal those responsible for the shocking crime. This was contained in a statement issued by the police force in the aftermath of the attacks. The police also said 6 persons were killed in the attack, not 20 people as widely reported. Meanwhile, the Inspector General of Police Force Solomon Arase has ordered the detention of a policeman identified as Corporal Chukwu, who allegedly collaborated with those involved in the attack of the Enugu community. President Muhammadu Buhari says preventing attacks by armed herdsmen remains a security priority for his government. The president has also ordered security chiefs to hunt down those who perpetrated the attack in the Enugu state community on Monday. Nigeria is already contending with Boko Haram insurgency in the northeast and a resurgence of pipeline attacks in the oil-rich southern Niger Delta region. The latest attack by herdsmen took place in the country's southeast region. President Buhari has said the government would not allow these attacks to continue across the country. Chairman of the Code of Conduct Tribunal, Danladi Umar, says he will not disqualify himself from the trial of Senate President Bukola Saraki. The trial of the Senate President on charges of alleged false declaration of assets continued on Thursday at the Code of Conduct Tribunal. Umar dismissed the application filed by Saraki, holding that the application lacks absolute merit. The Senate President legal team have accused the chairman of the tribunal of bias. The prosecution also asked to replace the former charge against the Senate President with new charges. Saraki is facing a 13-count charge of false declaration of assets while he was governor of Kwara State. Nigerian state governors have met with President Muhammadu Buhari to find a lasting solution to the economic crisis that have been battling with in their states. The meeting was held Thursday at the presidential villa in Abuja. Most of the 36 state governors are in attendance, while a few others were represented by their deputies. The meeting is also being attended by Vice President Yomi Shibanjo, Minister of Finance Kemi Adeosun, and the Governor of Central Bank of Nigeria Godwin Emefiele. It is expected to discuss the economic crisis facing the country and the herdsmen attack in parts of the country, among other national issues. The Nigeria Labour Congress and the Trade Union Congress of Nigeria have jointly proposed 56,000 naira as a new minimum wage to the federal government. The current minimum wage in Nigeria is 18,000 naira. NLC President Ayuba Waba at a news conference in Abuja said the labor unions were optimistic the federal government would look into the proposals. He admitted that even though the Nigerian economy is plagued with crisis, labor laws in the country state that wages for workers must be reviewed after every 5 years. Now, former Minister of State for Education Iyabo Anisulowo has been kidnapped. Anisulowo was abducted late Wednesday in Ilaro in Yewa South local government area of Ogun State. Police officials have now been deployed to rescue the former minister. Anisulowo was Minister of State for Education during the regime of late Sani Abacha. She later became a senator representing Ogun West Senatorial District. She is also a former governorship candidate in Ogun State. President Buhari has held talks with the Managing Director and Chief Operating Officer of the World Bank, Sri Indrawati, who is on a working visit to Nigeria. Indrawati said she and Nigeria's president discussed how the multilateral lender could help Nigeria overcome its economic crisis and return more than $300 million stolen by former military ruler Sani Abacha. The World Bank chief said part of the discussions were also centered on challenges facing the Nigerian economy: low commodity pricing, challenge of climate change, insecurity, job creation, poverty eradication, and fight against corruption. Although Nigeria has held talks with the World Bank over a possible loan or credit facility to fund its 2016 budget, Ndrawati did not address this when speaking to reporters after the meeting. The trial of former Chief of Defense Staff Air Chief Marshal Alex Bade over allegations of corruption has been adjourned till May 9th. Justice Okonaba adjourned proceedings midway during cross-examination of the witness by counsel to the first defendant, Akin Olujimi, to enable the court to attend to other issues. At the resumption of the case on Wednesday, the witness, Air Commodore Abdullahi Yushau, told the court he was not part of the bargaining process concerning the property in Abuja, purportedly owned by Alex Bade's son. He, however, admitted he made payments for the house on the instruction of the air chief. We'll take a short break now. We'll come back. We'll look at business and sports. Stay tuned.
Hello, you're welcome. You're watching the Funny White Man Show, which is the biggest, the brightest, and the most entertaining show in Africa.
Funny white man, funny white man, funny white man. But this way you talk, it's too much. Give me 5,000 man, that's you. It's too much. So you get it like, when she move along the street, yeah, me should like there, I'm going girl. You know, my own people, actually, yeah, fine, it's fun. I enjoy it, and I'm one of those very few. I'm forever taking it personal. I will say 160 million Nigerians are corrupt. How? I'm looking for you.
Yeah, but it's a growth, and this is the time to build business and know the pitfalls and know what to do and what not to do. But there are months where you get business and months.
You know how we do, how we train them. We did the way you did.
Hello, you're welcome. You're watching Trending Matters on the Funny White Man Show. Of course, we will bring you trending issues just to entertain and tickle your fancy.
Welcome back. Here watching TV360 News now. Nigeria's National Assembly says the government should put in place relevant means to curb tax evasion practices of multinationals and large corporations. The Senate Chair on Tertiary Education Fund, Binta Garba, made this demand during the Global Action Week for Education in Abuja. While urging the Nigerian government to review current policies and practices on tax waivers, she said any tax granted should basically be used to ensure social needs in the country are taken into consideration.
Nigerian government should review current policies and practices and discontinue the granting of excessive or harmful tax incentive. Any tax incentive granted should build on a solid cost-benefit analysis to ensure the eminent social needs in the countries are taken into consideration. The decision process should be open to public debate, scrutiny, and parliamentary oversight. To secure accountability on its electorate, the government must publish an analysis of the expected cost and benefit of the incentive. The federal government should systematically count and publish the full cost of tax incentive through published tax expenditure report. Finally, we also want multinational companies to be transparent about their finances, including reporting their profits, sales, assets, number of employees, and tax payments to government in each country where they operate, including tax not paid due to tax break.
When you talk about legislations to put up in order to fight corruption in higher institutions, I think that may be a bit difficult, but there are definitely guidelines that guide them as to how they can spend the money they generate, even their internally generated revenue. There are guidelines that monitors that. You see, what I would just want to enjoin us here to do is that at every point in time we have information, we have clues as to some of these things we are talking about in terms of corruption. Everybody is free to let the National Assembly or your members that represent you in the National Assembly to be aware of this, and I can assure you that definitely we'll tackle this.
In its drive to ensure full extension of its revenue-generating potentials, the Lagos State Internal Revenue Service (LIRS) has engaged 1,200 members of the Chartered Institute of Taxation of Nigeria and the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria as tax audit monitoring agents. This comes as the LIRS prepares to commence tax audit exercise of 2016 in earnest. The LIRS says it's carried out a review of the appointment and operational procedures of the tax audit monitoring agents. Their duty would be to collect information during tax audit field exercises, collate, prepare and submit tax audit reports based on the facts gathered for use by the LIRS. Lagos State government has restructured 167.5 billion naira of the bonds, potentially saving at least 40 billion naira by paying off the debt more quickly. This was revealed by Governor Akinwumi Ambode. He, however, didn't say when payment would be made. Lagos, a mega city of 21 million people in the state of the same name, is Nigeria's commercial city hub and generates about a third of its GDP. The Governor Ambode said the restructuring was approved by the Securities and Exchange Commission last week after an agreement was reached with bond creditors. India says it has absorbed more Nigerian oil as the supply glut continues to affect major oil producers. Despite the purchase, there were still close to 10 million barrels unsold for May loading. The Indian refiners made the purchase via tenders. A compilation of loading programs for Nigeria's oil exports has shown the country intends to ship a low amount of crude oil in June. Nigeria's oil production has been hampered by a forced order on the Forcado stream that has been in place since February. Nigeria's NNPC has said repairs on the pipeline that feeds Forcados to the export terminal will take until June to be completed. Crude oil prices hit 2016 highs following a rally in the gasoline market. Brent crude futures finished up at least $47.18 a barrel, while U.S. crude settled up at $44.04 a barrel. The price rise was also thanks to the weak dollar. A weak dollar makes the price of dollar-dominated commodities such as oil cheaper for investors outside the United States. Oil prices are headed for a fourth straight week of gains despite aborted plans by major producers to agree on an output freeze at a meeting in Qatar earlier this month. The United Nations Human Rights Chief said 31 people have been killed in attacks in Burundi this month, condemning an increase in violence in the East African nation. In the latest incident, gunmen on Monday killed a brigadier general who was a senior advisor to the first vice president, along with his wife and bodyguard. The International War Crimes Court said this week it would investigate the violence in Burundi. The United Nations says more than 400 people have been killed since then, and more than 2,500 people have fled the country. At least 24 patients and 3 doctors have been killed in an airstrike on a hospital in the Syrian city of Aleppo. The charity Medicine Sans Frontières confirmed the toll on Thursday. Among those killed in the MSF-supported Al-Quds hospital was one of the city's last pediatricians, MSF said on Thursday. Local sources blame Syrian or Russian warplanes for the attacks. The Syrian government has, however, denied targeting the hospital. Monitors say attacks by both sides left 34 people dead and dozens more injured. Violence in Syria, and particularly in Aleppo, has intensified in recent days despite a partial truce. Liverpool defender Mamadou Sakho has been suspended for 30 days after UEFA opened disciplinary proceedings against him following his doping violation. A sample submitted by the France international came back showing traces of banned substance believed to be a fat burner. Sakho had the option to appeal and have a B sample test, but on Wednesday rejected that option. UEFA has now elected to suspend the player for a month while an investigation is taking place. Tottenham midfielder Dele Alli has accepted a FA charge of violent conduct after punching West Brom player Claudio Yacoub. He is likely to miss the rest of the season over the incident, which was caught on camera. The incident, which happened in the 26th minute, was not in the referee's report on the match, which ended 1-1 on Monday. The punishment for violent conduct is usually a 3-game ban. Ali has enjoyed an impressive first season, netting 10 league goals and landing the PFA Young Player of the Year award. Well, that's all we have on news now. We thank you very much for watching. I am Thelma Okoro.